Hey everyone, welcome to the 5-Beer Plan. I'm Brian, and this is the ongoing saga of an everyman's ale trail. In this episode, I'll go down under for another hop variety, talk with Paola Valbuena from Pulpo Brewing Company in Willoughby, Ohio, and review Long-Haired Freaky People from Drekker Brewing. One of the things I wanted to let you know that I'm doing this season is I'm using a different microphone. I invested in one of the good old standard blue Yeti podcast mics, so if things sound a little bit strange or different than they have been in the past, it's because I'm still trying to dial things in. So I appreciate your patience, and I hope that you still are finding this enjoyable. In this segment of Looking for Lupulin, we're going to declassify another hop profile from Down Under. Known initially as Cultivar 00-207-013, Vic Secret was developed by the Hop Products Australia Breeding Program in 2000 in Victoria, Australia. The variety was developed through breeding with a high alpha Australian and Y College hops. Yakima Valley hops indicates that the parentage of this hop comes from the same Australian and UK roots of her sister Topaz. The first commercial harvest occurred in 2013. Vic Secret features elements of tropical fruit, herbs, and pine with clean notes of pineapple and passion fruit. Julian Healy's The Hops List notes that Vic Secret has an alpha acid content of 14 to 17% and a beta acid content of 6.1 to 7.8%. With this ratio of alpha to beta acids, it is a great dual-use hop. It is best used as a whirlpool or dry hop addition. Be careful though. One source indicates that late kettle additions impart more of an earthiness profile instead of the fruitiness. It's fascinating how such a simple change can have such a large difference in the profile. Pale Ale, India Pale Ale, Stout, and Porter are common styles that use Vic Secret. If you are homebrewing and can't find this hop, you could use Galaxy. Unfortunately, this is another proprietary hop variety, so it's not available for your backyard garden.
In this episode of Homebrew Hijinks, it's time to boil the wort. This was going to be quite a different boil than previous brew sessions. The total boil time for this recipe was 60 minutes, and the hop schedule was non-existent for the duration of the boil. The hops would instead be added following the boil to the whirlpool, meaning that they would only impart a small amount of bitterness and a large amount of aroma. The hops used in this beer were Citra, Strata, and HBC 586. HBC 586 is an experimental hop variety from the Hop Breeding Company, which is a joint venture between John I. Haas and Yakima Chief Ranches. All these hops have great fruit-leaning profiles with lychee, mango, passion fruit, guava, strawberry, and citrus noted. I can't wait for the finished product. But once again I was faced with another dilemma: how to reproduce a whirlpool. Whirlpooling is a method that commercial brewers use to create a cone of trub at the bottom of the brew kettle to more easily transfer the wort to the fermenter. Thank goodness for homebrewing forums and the internet. The general consensus was that for a homebrew whirlpool, it was enough to drop in the hops and gently stir the wort for 1 to 2 minutes as it was cooling. Let the mixture sit for 2 to 3 minutes and stir again, repeating this process 3 to 5 times, and then let the wort rest for 10 to 20 minutes. Since I was intent on getting the most out of these aroma hops, I opted for a 20-minute whirlpool before transferring to the fermenter. Next time, I'll pitch the yeast.
Now, it's time for Barstool Banter. Listen in for the first half of my interview with Paola Valbuena from Pulpo Brewing Company in Willoughby, Ohio. Paola's story is great. She's the owner of a family-first restaurant business that brews beer, drawing inspiration from her Latin roots. She carries the craft beer banner so enthusiastically. Listen in to hear more.
Well, welcome to Barstool Banter. I'm sitting down with Paola Valbuena from Pulpo Beer Company in Willoughby, Ohio. Paola, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Yes. So can you please tell me what your role is at the brewery?
Of course, my name is Paola. I am a brewer in Pulpo Beer Company. At the moment, I am the VP of operations of the whole business, and that's what I do. I sometimes manage the restaurants and sometimes I brew beer.
Okay, nice. Hablo y entiendo un poco de español. Can you please
Okay,
tell me about the name of the brewery, what that means?
Yes, so the Pulpo, we came, is a family business, and this family business is integrated by 6 families. So we choose the Pulpo because the octopus is a very smart animal. It's one of the most smartest animal in the sea world. And we also choose it because it has tentacles. So for us, it represents one of each tentacles represents one of the families. So this octopus is special because first of all it's pink because it's a female wren business, and also it has 6 tentacles instead of 8 because it's 6 families. So that's how we came with the name. We just wanted to find something that could be very, very neutral on the gender. Like sometimes they associate beer or the beer business for men. So the octopus, as you can see, is pink.
Yes.
And it could be both. I mean, you cannot tell like it's a female or a male. It could be both.
Well, and an octopus is kind of fluid in the way that it moves, so I suppose that kind of goes along right with what you're talking about, Paula.
Correct. And it's like it flows. It's an animal that flows with everything. So we got enchanted by the name.
Well, my daughter is studying environmental science, and I remember we went to some aquariums at one point, and the octopi were there, and just watching the octopus move from the big spaces to small space and just how it flows, it's a fascinating creature. It really is. In the craft beer industry, I think you really have to be flexible, adaptable.
Mhm.
Sometimes you've got to fit into areas and places that maybe you don't fit so comfortably, and that's an octopus, and intelligent, just like you said. They're the smartest creatures in the sea.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Fantastic.
adaptable. I love that word that you use. Adaptable is something. Is everything about adapting to what is coming, to adapting to tough times. As we adapted to start a business in COVID time, or is everything about adapting.
Yeah. So how long has Pulpo been open?
So we have been open for 3 years.
Okay.
And we had our first brew on January of 2021, but we opened on September of 2020,
Okay.
in the middle of pandemic.
I've heard of so many that I've talked to on the show who've talked about that they maybe started the process of acquiring property or building the business up in 2019, and then all of a sudden things just kind of happen in 2020. You have to roll with it. Congratulations to you for making through 3 years of, really 2/3 of that time has been very, very challenging, right?
For sure, for sure. It has been challenging, and with the staff and with the customers too. But I think with the staff situation, it has been like the most difficult part at the moment. And trying to reduce costs and get a good product, get a good training for the people so they can serve or they can give that experience to the customer. It has been challenging.
Yeah.
But it has been good. It's fun. It's good.
You're smiling, so that must be good.
It's good. Life is good on a beer world.
Fantastic. So what would you say makes Pulpo unique to the industry then?
In the Northeast Ohio, I say this all the time. I don't see any or many Latin female on this business. So we are proudly the first Latin women ran brewery. And we feel very proud of that. And we also provide something different. As you can see, our graphics are very different and fun and not something that every brewery will have. We try to have that difference. And in the beer, we try to make some of our cultural flavors on the beer. We have, as you can know, we are affiliated with Barroco and Hola Tacos here in Cleveland, are Latin American restaurants, and we have mojitos and we have piña coladas and all those drinks. But we wanted to make the same with the beer. So we're trying to bring all those flavors that people love and enjoy into beer. So that's how we unique.
Fantastic. So how did you end up choosing Willoughby, Ohio?
That was because only the opportunity on the real estate. So that was an opportunity that we had. The family liked the place, and that's actually how we end up brewing, because we found a place that had a brewery, and that's how we choose to brew, because the family business actually is the restaurant business. When we found that place in Willoughby, we saw a big opportunity to make our own beer. Why not? Diversification, we said.
Yeah.
So that's how we end up there.
Okay. So you said you have two different restaurants that are affiliated with the brewery then? And
Correct.
so how large of a space do you have then if you have two restaurants and a brewery, or are they not connected?
Well, it's fun. We are trying different concepts. So we have Hola Tacos on the first floor. We had Barroco on the second floor, and the brewery is connected to it. So now what we have created is a mixed environment. So the restaurant itself is Pulpo, and we have mixed up some of the best items from both places. But that's how we used to be, like first floor Hola Tacos, second floor Barroco, and the brewery providing the beer for both of them. It's a very big building. We can fit 152 people downstairs, and upstairs we can fill with the patio 170 people.
Wow.
It's
That's
a
a lot
little
of
bit.
people.
Yeah.
So a lot of good opportunity there. Okay, well, that makes
Mhm.
sense. So clearly you have food there. Was it a hard adaptation to extend your food and then do the brewing?
We didn't have any experience. It was a fun process because we love beer. Like all the family is into craft beer
Who doesn't?
drinking already. So it's like on the drinking side, we are perfectly capable. But on the making side, we needed help. So what we did is my husband, his best friend, he is from Puerto Rico, but at the same time, he worked for a Spindle Tap. Spindle Tap is a big IPA brewery in Houston, Texas. And they were the one that came over here and helped us set up everything. Help us find our head brewer, because I didn't have the experience. And our head brewer, he has been on the business for over 8 years. He has the knowledge to help us with the creation, with the recipes, with the planning, and going around that. So we have that great person that is John Hill. He comes from Beer Market Garden, and he has been that help, that mastermind that we need behind the brewery work.
And it's important to have somebody with experience, especially when you're starting something up on that magnitude as you did there. So fantastic. So John's currently your head brewer then?
Yes, he has
Okay.
always been our head brewer.
All right.
That's how we found some experts that help us find the expert.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, in the business world, we call those headhunters, but sometimes, we talk about the head on the beer too. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you personally have not brewed before then?
No, I
Okay.
have always been probably a small batch here at home, something very small, but nothing like a major 10-barrel system. That's what we have right now.
Okay. So 10 barrels. I assume you have some bright tanks and fermenter, all those things too.
Yes, we have a capability of 7 bright tanks, and we have 5 fermenters in 10-barrel system.
So you have a lot of room to brew, which is nice.
It's funny that you said room, but it's like a small space with a lot of capabilities.
Yes, it always is. Just interesting how you have to, again, adapt, kind of adjust to surroundings you have and what space you have.
That's actually literally how we have it. Like we have the
Okay.
fermenters downstairs, and we have a second like mezzanine with the bright tanks that are connected to the lines.
Very cool. What kind of distribution do you have there at Pulpo?
We self-distribute at the
Okay.
moment. So it's basically ourselves, and we have probably around 20 accounts, 25 accounts, local restaurants that we distribute by ourselves.
Mainly in kegs, then? Is that what you're doing?
Correct. Everything is in keg at the moment. Even though we can label, we don't have the space to set up like a canning machine or a bottle machine at the moment. So, for instance, we are trying to do the barley wine. Here, we are going to do a few bottles and keep them there. So, like small batches, something that very handcrafted. And also we have a lot of walk-ins, like a customer wants that they want to have a cake for their party. So they call us ahead and we fill it out and there you go. You have it. That's most of the sales too at the
Okay.
moment.
I was looking at your website, which I love. It looked like you have several core beers then. Do you offer anything outside those core beers?
Of course, yes. We have right now we open a tap room in the west side of Cleveland. So we have over there we have 24 different taps and over in the brewery we have 12. So we always have to be creating stuff or different stuff. We have that capability of being creating different stuff. Right now we are working on a barley wine, our first barley wine. So it's like we have, and it's really good. So we have like that capability of playing around since we have this space now with the other tap room. But we have our core beers that people love and expect. So we have to have those set up. Yes,
And those are the ones that are featured on the website, correct?
correct.
They looked really nice. And as you mentioned before, I can definitely see some of that Latin heritage in the ingredients and in kind of the names and just the styles too.
Yes, John has done a great job about being thoughtful in the Latin culture. You know, not only just adding jalapenos and making a spicy beer. No, he has been really thoughtful. Like, let's see what we can do, caramel or the chocolate that we use, or the Mexican vanilla, or the Colombian coffee. So it's from a different, more deep perspective.
Yeah. Clearly, your Latin heritage has influenced that part of your business there. What else do you plan to kind of do to continue to stretch that and expand that further?
For sure, we are creating more and more every time that we can. Like, for instance, we try to incorporate everything from our menu into some of our brews. So, or creating, we are always like looking for more to bring over the table from the drinking point to pair with our food. For instance, we had a plantain dongo, and that ended up super good, like with smashed maduro plantains. And it's something like we want to keep creating because there are so many flavors that we can adapt and kind of pair with the food. And we are always like thinking about, okay, what is next, or what should we do next? Like, we have our Christmas or a holiday ale, and it's inspired by coquito, the Puerto Rican drink. So it's like we're trying to pair or match everything and make it from a drinking beer perspective, like getting that people to, hey, let's try a toasted coconut. Try it. You will like it. I promise you. Try it in a beer,
Yeah.
something like that's what we want to do. Like, bringing more stuff so people doesn't feel afraid of trying new things. And what better than a beer for that?
Yeah. And I think the other nice part about that is that because you know your recipes, you know your flavors, you can pair those up together and it makes it a total experience for those that come and eat or drink at your restaurant.
Correct. That's something that we try every day, and it's like, okay, let's try. Oh my God, look at this taco. This will be very good with a Mexican Oktoberfest. And we're always like thinking what we are going to bring next.
Do you ever have events where you pair beer with your food?
Yes, actually, we had our first dinner with the brewer this past summer.
Okay.
And hopefully we can get more of those comings, and not even in the brewery only, but also in the tap room. The tap room also offers great food. Is a little bit different. It's less like the of the tacos or the arepas that are our menu. But we would like to keep going those events because we easily compare so many selection of beer with our food.
Right. So you said west side of Cleveland. Can you tell me like exactly where that is?
Are you familiar with Crocker Park?
Here's my familiarity is Cleveland Clinic,
Okay.
the hospital. So
Okay, so Willoughby is on the east side, northeast,
yep.
and the west, it will be southwest of Cleveland, kind of. I'm sorry if I'm making this
Okay.
up because I'm super bad with the directions of the cardinal points. I have to learn that here in the United States because the
Okay,
cardinal.
it's in Crocker.
Crocker Park.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm just looking on the
There
map
you go.
here. Okay. I will have to the next time that I go to Cleveland, I'll have to make sure I stop in. Okay, so it's kind of between Avon and Rocky River. Okay, I'm familiar with that area. Okay, perfect.
It's in a little nice walking mall. So it's nice because people is doing their shopping and then walking. And we also have our restaurant Barroco. One of the Barrocos is next to it. So that's why the menus are so different.
Okay.
Because we didn't wanted to compete with the other restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's very nice, small little plaza that you can walk and eat and drink.
Okay. I've talked to two breweries recently, Third Eye and then also Noctera in Columbus. So Third Eye's in Cincy. And they both have just recently are in the process of opening second locations. So I find it very interesting that there is still the ability to expand your brand footprint in Ohio. I mean, I know, Ohio is a big state. A lot of people like to drink the beer, but I think there are over 400 breweries, craft breweries in Ohio now. So that's a lot of beer out there. And I know that it's very interesting that you also have a second location. I just am hearing that trend more and more. You have your primary brewing location and then a secondary tap room someplace where the other side of the cities as you're doing there.
If we had it, we had the opportunity. Again, I think it was just like opportunities open up for us, and we just decided that it's 45 minutes away from the brewery. So why not to have that presence on that west side? Because the east side is, there are not too many breweries on the area where we are. They are, but not that many as on the Cleveland area and the west side. So we wanted to bring that presence of Pulpo on that side. So I think that was an opportunity, and we said, let's go, let's do it. And plus, we have 12 more options to put over there, so we can keep creating and keep taking out of the pressure on Willoughby, because on Willoughby we have the limited space. So we were more open on the tap room. That's why we went ahead and let's do it.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. How long has that location been open?
1 year and 2 months now.
Fantastic. That's great to hear.
Last call.
It's nearly time to wrap things up, but first, one more for the road. This episode, I'm drinking Long-Haired Freaky People from Drekker Brewing in Fargo, North Dakota. From the brewer, Long-Haired Freaky People is brewed with 100% Vic Secret hops for some huge citrus, pineapple, passion fruit, and stone fruit aromas that carry right into the flavor until you get hit with a nice, balanced bitterness. Well, without further delay, this beer is an 8.2% ABV Imperial Double New England Hazy IPA. So I poured this out into a nice snifter glass, coming from one of my favorites, Archival Brewing. It poured a deep golden color, hazy, hazy, hazy. It's got a nice, thin, fluffy white head. Massive aroma on the nose of passion fruit, pineapple, citrus, stone fruit. It's got all that stuff on the nose. Was not expecting that to just hit me full on in the face. So appealing. And that's one of the things I think I really enjoy about the hazy IPAs. They oftentimes are very citrus forward, very fruit forward. And even though they're hoppy and not everybody likes the bitterness, they just have such a great aroma. I just have always liked citrus and tropical fruit in general. Okay, so first sip impression here. All right, so it has a lot of citrus there on the front. It kind of gets tangled up in some pineapple, some other tropical fruits. And then once it leaves the back of your tongue, it becomes this bitter hop bomb. It just dries the palate. And then once it hits the back of your tongue, you get this nice balanced hop bitterness to it. So nice. Well, just like other cans of Drekker beer, this one has some great can art. It's almost psychedelic in nature. It's got someone who has long hair and is holding a staff of some sort and kind of zapping somebody off in the background. I know it's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool too. It's very Drekker. So this has a medium-bodied mouthfeel to it. It has a nice body, so it's not thin, but it's not super viscous like maybe a triple IPA. But again, that nose is just amazing. It just really floods your senses with this tropical, fruity aroma. That's just so good. I would agree with what was said. It has a nice, smooth, balanced hop bitterness to it. It does leave a little bit of almost a coating on the teeth, like a drying effect from the hops. And this is a single hopped beer. It's single hop with Vic Secret, which is what we focused on for this particular episode. And one of the things that I talked about earlier was the fact that this is a great dual use hop, although it's most often used in the Whirlpool or as a dry hop addition. And I would say that since it's very fruity, very citrusy, it definitely was not added too late in the kettle because it doesn't have a whole lot of earthiness to it. But boy, it's just such a nice beer. So Drekker, this is not the first beer I've had from them. They do such a great job with their beers. I really like their IPAs and their formulas they've got for those. Yeah, just a nice, solid double IPA. And it is 8.2%, and I would say that this is one that, because of the bitter finish, it is not one that I would crush on necessarily. It is an enjoyable beer, but I can tell that it is a double IPA that's an imperial, just based on kind of that pushback I'm almost getting from the beer as I'm drinking it. Not a bad thing. Believe me, it's a very nice, solid beer. I give this one 4 tasters out of 5 on the flight board. Cheers, Drekker Brewing. If you've got a beer you'd like me to drink and describe, leave a comment below. If you're a brewer and have one in mind, direct message me on Instagram and let's see what we can do. That's all for this episode of the 5 Beer Plan. With so many podcasts out there, thanks for choosing to listen to mine. Join me next time as I continue my latest homebrew adventure, conclude my conversation with Paola Valbuena from Pulpo Brewing Company, and review another beer. Remember to hit the subscribe button to be notified of new episodes. I'd love to hear from you, so please follow me on Instagram, 5Beer Plan 2022, and leave a comment to let me know what your favorite beer with Vic Secret is. Be sure to support your local breweries, choose your beers wisely, and drink them responsibly. Until next time, keep walking your ale trail, and stay thirsty, my friends.